Annette thought she was marrying the man she loved. Little did she know he would end her life and destroy her family. She had always believed their first meeting was a result of some divine fate. She really should have listened to her philosophy teacher. She was too naive and never knew it was all a plan. The girl trembles as she heads to her husband's office. She hands him a letter and tells him to read it, but he refuses. He claims he is too busy. The man doesn't seem to care until she says she investigated his past. He finally looks shocked. Annette was in despair. She couldn't understand why. Why did the man who loved her so much suddenly change? She knew love could fade after marriage, but this maltreatment was just too much. Her investigation exposed everything. The man had never loved her. She was just a pawn he wanted to use. Heiner doesn't deny it. His agreement almost makes the girl crazy. She wonders how difficult it was for him to pretend to love her. His Annette Yumi's daughter. She had foolishly thought their meeting was some divine destiny, but from the start she was just a tool to him. Annette had lived a perfect life. Her family, the Rosenbergs, were part of royalty. Her father, Marquis Dietrich, was the king's nephew. He was also the commander of the Padania army. Heiner was a legion commander working under him. The couple had met in the Rosenberg garden and fell in love. They dated for 2 years, got married, and lived a happy life. Everything was perfect, until it wasn't. Like they say, everything has to come to an end, and so did Annette's happiness. The people were tired of the monarch system. Led by the Revolutionary Army, they overthrew the king and destroyed the nobles. Our heroine's father was killed by the army and her mother was forced to end her life. The worst betrayal was finding out her husband was the leader of the Revolutionary Army. Still, she refused to give up on him. She even betrayed her own father. But what did she get in return? Heiner's hate. He treated her like trash to be avoided. Annette knew he had changed, but she refused to believe their marriage was just a plan. She trusted him, even when the people gathered outside the mansion and begged for her death. She chose to believe in Heiner's love, but her loyalty only brought her more pain. She became the villain, the daughter of the man who oppressed the people, and was forced to take the blame. The girl was dragged into a mess she knew nothing about. She became empty, merely existing and not living. At that moment, she needed Heiner by her side, yet he never came. She always wondered why. Did she do something wrong? Or was her birth a mistake? She had a lot of questions, but when she read that letter, she realized the truth. Back at Heiner's office. Annette thinks it is funny. She had foolishly tried to change the man's heart and make him love her again. Only now does she realize the man had not changed. He had never loved her from the start. Heiner doesn't deny and says she is right. He seems unbothered, which makes the girl angry. She tells him to speak because she needs to hear the truth. The man finally reveals his true self. The truth is, he has always hated her father and the royal family. His marriage to her was just a plan. The girl is in pain. She wonders if he also hated her. Heiner tells her a story. In the past, the royal family would secretly train spies, and our male lead was one of them. He was at the training center her father supervised. The royal family, afraid they would be exposed, would secretly assassinate the spies after their mission ended. But Heiner managed to survive. He helped the Marquis secure his position and became the man's closest aide. That was the day he met Annette. She was dressed like a princess, looking so beautiful and bright. She acted like he was a charity case and offered him her pity. He thought her words were a mockery. So yes, he hated her. That story reveals everything. Annette finally understands it was all a plan. He approached her just to get his revenge. He hated her deeply, but like a fool, she fell in love with him. The girl has made up her mind. Since he doesn't want her, they can have a divorce. To our surprise, the man refuses. Annette is confused. She has nothing left to offer. Her parents are dead and the nobles have been destroyed. The only thing she has is her position as his wife. We have to admit, Heiner's revenge was successful. But the man doesn't think it is enough. He approaches Annette and violently holds her. He tells her there is no happy place left for her in this world. He has really gone crazy. He wants the girl to stay by his side and be unhappy for the rest of her life. It was at this moment Annette finally realized this was just the beginning of his revenge. Our heroine dreams of her past with Heiner. They would sit in her father's garden and talk about their future. The girl has always been scared of everything. She was so afraid she gave up her chance to study abroad. She confesses and says it was also because she wasn't good at studying. The only thing she can do is play the piano, but she thinks it might be the wrong path. Heiner encourages her and says her skills are perfect. The girl is amused because he has never heard her play. Like a faithful husband, the man says everything she does is good. The scene changes to their proposal. Heiner was really romantic, renting out a boat at night and proposing to her on sea. He looked really glad and promised to make her happy forever. He would be by her side for the rest of her life. But who would have thought his promise would turn to a nightmare? Our heroine wishes their past was all a dream. Annette reads the newspaper, and once again, the people are begging for her death. The girl is frustrated and decides to go for a walk. She meets her husband's subordinate, Major Eugene. He asks about her health, but Annette knows he doesn't care. She's about to leave when the man suddenly mentions some marriage plans. It turns out her husband is planning to marry Miss Annalie. The woman seems to be Heiner's subordinate, and even the public supports their marriage. Eugene tries to upset Annette, but she doesn't care anymore. She knows everyone is waiting for her downfall. Every day, the newspapers write articles about her. They all want to get rid of her. Some even write letters just to threaten her. Annette is tired. Being by Heiner's side feels like hell. Eugene is still complaining. He calls her a stain and says nobody supports their marriage. Annette interrupts his long story and tells him she already asked Heiner for a divorce. The major is shocked when she says her husband refused. She begs Eugene to persuade the man. The poor girl is really tired. She finally notices that everyone dislikes her. So why would Heiner love her? That night, the man visits her bedroom. Heiner knows she isn't sleeping. He tried to refuse Annalie's marriage proposal, but the news was already published. Still, he refuses to divorce Annette. The girl is confused. The man says he dislikes her, but why does he look scared when she mentions a divorce? She begs him to let her go. Everyone thinks she is still living well because of him. They all want him to get rid of her. To the public, she is just a stain on his perfect life. She wonders if he just wants to watch her suffer by his side. He must really dislike her if he is willing to harm himself too. Heiner is actually worried she might not live well if she leaves his side. But the girl thinks he is just afraid. He is scared she might still have some property hidden somewhere. She tells him she has nothing. She doesn't even have any friends. The man doesn't believe her. Her father had many friends who went abroad during the revolution. They might have started a better life. Annette doesn't care about them. The only thing she needs is a divorce, but Heiner keeps refusing. Seeing how much she wants it, he's determined not to give it to her. Annette regrets everything. She should have known his soft, smiling face and friendly voice was just a trap. His love for her was never real. He really is a great spy. She keeps begging him to let her go. He wonders why she is so desperate to leave. Does she finally hate him after finding out about his betrayal? He is shocked when she says she doesn't hate him. The poor girl has really lost her hope. She doesn't have the courage to hate anyone. She doesn't care if the whole world hates her. Every day, she reads the newspaper and everyone wishes for her death. She reminds them of the monarchy, so they want to destroy her. The girl has been brainwashed by this news. She is ready to end her life if that is what the people want. Our heroine was an innocent girl who knew nothing about politics, but she was forced to learn. She had to know why the people overthrew the monarchy. She didn't understand their decision, but was forced to accept it. Everyone kept blaming her, making her believe it really was her fault. Heiner is shocked. He wonders if she knows what she is saying. But Annette knows. All she wants is a divorce. She is ready for her downfall, but she refuses to fall as his wife. She wants to have some dignity in front of the man she loves. But her behavior makes the man upset. She keeps talking about divorce, which frustrates him. She makes it seem like an easy decision. He tells the girl she will always be his wife and will never have any freedom or happiness. He will keep her trapped to his side and watch her suffer. She must pay for her sins. Annette is silent. The man calms down and tells her there is a banquet they need to attend. She is still his wife, so she will follow him. Annette wonders if he will drag her there if she refuses. She seems to have forgotten that Heiner is a crazy man. He threatens to lock her up in a mental hospital. Poor Annette is shocked, but the man isn't done. He tells her there is no way she can escape. If she runs away, he has enough power to find her. He tells her to be obedient if she doesn't want to suffer. Annette finally understands this man is crazy. He approached her with a purpose and deceived her. Still, she refused to believe it. She convinced herself he only disliked her because she lost everything. She believed his love would return, but now she realizes that what they had was never love. She has no choice but to agree to him. He leaves her alone and she begins to cry. The girl seems to have some problems sleeping. She decides to take some medicine, but instead of swallowing it, she seems to be gathering them in a bottle. She stares at the medicine with a sad face. Just what is she planning? The next day, Annette visits her doctor. She asks for a new medicine since she still has trouble sleeping. Even today, she woke up with a headache. However, the doctor doesn't seem to respect her. He dismisses her headache and says there is no cure for it. He even says she is overreacting. Annette is upset and asks if she has to endure the headache. Well, that is actually the man's goal. Our heroine is sure something is wrong. She keeps feeling dizzy and even has a fever, But the man isn't concerned. He says she might be too stressed and even suggests she's lazy. He tells her to stop lying around and says she should take a walk. He thinks she is just overreacting because she has been pampered. He says he works for the mansion and isn't her personal doctor. Our heroine really has a hard life. Even the maids can laugh at her. She is ashamed and sends the man away. The banquet finally begins. Heiner is the king and everyone is eager to greet him. They all ignore Annette, treating her like air. Annette watches them all. She thought she could never understand Heiner, but now she does. He dragged her along even though he knew nobody would welcome her. He said she had to fulfill her duty, but now she understands why he brought her here. He just wants to watch her suffer. She is someone who never leaves the mansion. The only place people can harm her is at a party like this. The girl is sad and keeps drinking. She overhears them talking about her husband's marriage to Anneli. The man says he rejected it, making the people upset. They encourage him to date the woman. Heiner stops being friendly and reminds them he has a wife. But Annette doesn't feel better. Which woman will be happy to hear her husband talking about marrying another woman? Heiner is just too cruel. The man she is thinking about appears by her side and hugs her. He even stops her from drinking. Now the girl is confused, wondering what he is up to. Her miserable night finally has some happiness. A special person has been invited to the banquet and it turns out to be Felix Kafka. Annette looks shocked to hear this. The man is the best pianist in the world. He won first place in every competition he attended and is loved by all of Pedania. Our heroine never thought she would see him again. She hasn't played the piano in 3 years, but hearing the man's music comforts her. She also has a special relationship with Felix. He was her idol growing up, and Annette wanted to become a pianist like him. Her father used his connections, and she met the man several times. Felix would encourage her, give her autographs, and even speak to her. But everything has changed. Now that Annette thinks about it, Felix must have despised her back then. He might have been a music genius, but he was also a commoner. He must have hidden his hatred for a noble like her. She looks sad, which Heiner notices. The man is worried and tries to speak to her, but they are interrupted when a group of ladies appear. They seem determined to force our heroine to play them a song. Annette is nervous and tells them she hasn't played in 3 years, but that doesn't stop the women. They even push her to the stage. The girl is desperate and looks back at Heiner. She wants him to help her, but he says nothing. Annette is hurt again. She scolds herself for trusting Heiner. She really thought he would help her. Everyone, even Felix, is waiting for her to play. Annette wonders if watching her disgrace will be enough for them. They must be happy watching a woman of noble birth end up like this. Our heroine wasn't lying when she said she can't play. She seems to have some form of trauma, and it is well-deserved. Imagine watching your father be killed while you play the piano. The soldiers who had killed her father even mocked her for living so freely. Heiner is staying up late again. He tries to read, but he keeps thinking about his wife. It turns out Annette had a panic attack on the stage. The man was very worried when he heard her throwing up in the bathroom. After that, they hurried home. It clearly seemed like she had some form of trauma, but Heiner refuses to believe it. He thinks someone pampered like her, someone who had lived a peaceful life, didn't deserve to be traumatized. He is annoyed when he remembers her behavior at the banquet. She keeps asking for a divorce, but he refuses to accept it. He can't let her go so easily. Not after he suffered so much just to get her. The man knows his decision is twisted, but he can't let her leave. It turns out he met her when they were younger. Heiner had fallen in love with her then, but was a one-sided love. He hates remembering that period. He just wants to forget the past. Our heroine tries to confront her fears and goes to her piano room. She has been playing the piano from the moment she started walking. She even brought it over to Heiner's mansion. She knows what keys to press, but still she can't play. Since the day of her father's death, everything she had faded away. Her power, connections, and money. She had lost everything. She thought her situation would get better, but now she realizes there is nothing left for her. Heiner is annoyed again. The butler has just informed him his stubborn little wife is refusing her meals. It makes him so upset he goes to her room. The woman he is worried about is sewing and even ignores him. He is annoyed and questions her. She spent the whole day in her room and is even refusing her meals. He wonders if this is her way of challenging him. Our girl isn't thinking about him and tells him not to worry. The man notices the packets of medicine on the table and immediately panics. He sees the little bottle of medicine she has been gathering. The girl looks guilty and tries to pretend it is nothing. When the man keeps questioning her, she tells him she couldn't eat the medicine, so she gathered them up. Of course, Heiner knows she is lying, but he doesn't argue. He says some food will be brought up and even plans to change her medicine. The girl tries to protest, but she suddenly becomes obedient. The man is afraid she is planning something dangerous. He tells her she can't die in a disgraceful way. She is the Princess of Rosenberg, so her death must be graceful. His words make her mad, but she bites her lips to stop talking. The servants have prepared a meal. Annette wants the man to leave, but he refuses. She suddenly becomes furious and yells at him. She asks what he would do if she refuses to eat. Heiner is shocked and wonders why she is so upset. He thinks it is just because of the medicine and even scolds her for not speaking like a lady. The girl is annoyed. The man seems to know a lot about her. He must have investigated her just to win her heart. But everything has changed. Our heroine reminds him she isn't his lover anymore or a princess. Right now, she is just nothing. The man is stunned by her words. He knows she is right. Her noble birth is useless now, and even her loved ones are all dead. Yet, she seems as noble and beautiful as the day he first saw her. Those memories just make him miserable. He takes out his anger on her and forces her to eat. The girl plays with her food while the man watches her. He suddenly notices the cloth she was sewing. For some reason, it looks really ugly. He remembers how beautiful her sewing was in the past. So why does it suddenly look like something a child would do? Annette finally speaks. She wants to travel to a different city alone. As expected, the man refuses. The girl isn't surprised. She knew he would refuse. She still doesn't eat, and the man finally agrees to leave. But he warns her, if she refuses her meal one more time, he is going to lock her up in a mental hospital. He leaves, and so he doesn't see the mocking smile on the girl's face. Heiner is still worried and calls Annette's doctor. He asks about the drug he found in the girl's room, and the man says it is just a sleeping pill. Heiner has found out the girl's plan. She was probably going to overdose and end her life. He doesn't believe she would have that courage. He even thinks she is just trying to attract attention. He despises her, thinking she doesn't know what suffering is. She is a weak woman who panics just because of a piano, or what people say. She knows nothing about beatings, pain, or torture. He remembers the past and how she would praise his beauty. Back then, he thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world. Now, he just wants her to be in despair. He hopes her life will be unhappy just like his life was destroyed. The man takes off his shirt and we see his body is covered in scars. Because he had a dark life, he wants Annette to also be in darkness. He wants to watch her life fall apart. And then he would join her. The day has just begun, but Annette is already tired. She thinks about her past with Heiner. She was eager to change the man's mind and decided to spend the night with him. She thought things would change if they had a child together. The man didn't reject her, but he never showed her love. He refused to reveal his body and would leave after he slept with her. Annette would be left alone in his cold room. Still, she continued, hoping he would change his mind. But he never did. She wonders why he never rejected her. The girl is really tired and wishes her life would just end this way. As if our heroine's day couldn't get any worse, her husband's new lover appears. Lady Anneli asks to speak with Annette. The girl doesn't care and tells the woman to do what she wants. Anneli has always wanted to meet the girl and has finally gotten the chance. Everyone knows Annette isn't allowed out of the mansion. The papers have been filled with news about her, making Anneli wonder what kind of person she is. Annette knows the woman doesn't really care about her. She is tired of the random talks and tells the woman to speak her mind. Anneli is actually here because she found out Heiner refused to get divorced. She actually dislikes our heroine very much. Every time she remembers what the father and daughter did, she feels disgusted. She believes Annette doesn't deserve to be by Heiner's side. Today, she wants to force the girl to get a divorce. Our heroine isn't interested. She advises Anneli to speak to her husband instead. She is being nice, but the woman starts threatening her. She promises to use all her power to make sure Heiner divorces our girl. Annette is disgusted by the woman's behavior. It turns out the reason our heroine's reputation is so bad is because Anneli was framing her. The girl thought it was unfair at first. Why was she always blamed for everything, even when she was innocent? The woman tries to defend herself, but Annette stops her. She knows she isn't innocent, but the woman purposely made things worse. Still, the girl doesn't blame her. It has been 3 years, so she has accepted her fate. Now she even respects their cause. She tells Anneli she has no control over the divorce. But she is sure their marriage would soon end. Annette is reading some documents when a maid knocks. It seems our girl has a visitor called Ansgar. The girl is surprised to hear that name, especially when she sees the man. He looks really handsome. The Stetter family were close friends with the Rosenbergs. Ansgar was the second son of the family. Annette is really surprised to see him. The two had grown up together. Later on, the man had proposed to her, but she refused. The boy was disappointed and traveled abroad to study. The two friends lost contact after that. During the revolution, his family was also destroyed, but Ansgar managed to escape since he was abroad. Now he hugs her. He seems worried when he notices how thin she is, but she is still the most beautiful woman in his eyes. The man says he has sent her many letters, but never received a reply. He was worried and decided to visit. The girl is surprised and wonders if he sent it to the Rosenberg mansion. She secretly wonders why the man is here. Right now, the people dislike nobles, and she has become the #1 target. She believes she has no value to Ansgar. The man seems surprised when she says she never got his letters. He made sure to send it to Heiner's mansion. Annette claims it might have gotten lost, but she is sure her annoying husband took them. She asks if he has returned to Pedania, and the man says he is only here for a short visit. He actually came to see her. He tells her he is now an ambassador for France. After the revolution, the remaining nobles fled to the country. Annette is impressed and praises the man, but Ansgar isn't happy. If everything hadn't changed, he would have had a better life. His words upset the girl. She is surprised when he says he got married and divorced last year. He explains he did it just to gain citizenship. He finally tells her why he came here. He knows how hard her life in Pedania has been. The media paints her as the villain, and even her own husband refuses to help her. He thinks she should leave this marriage. Annette didn't expect him to say that. The maid is still there, and she knows everything would be reported to Heiner, but she doesn't care anymore. She tells Ansgar she also wants a divorce, but things are very troublesome. The man misunderstands and thinks it is because she has nowhere to go. Well, he isn't wrong. Annette wonders if this man is here to mock her. She is wrong because he is here to save her. He wants her to come with him to France. Annette is shocked. The man explains he still has feelings for her. If she marries him, she can become a citizen of France. All she has to do is accept his offer and he will make her happy. Everything would have been fine if he never said those last words. It reminds the girl of Heiner's promise, so she becomes upset. She tells Ansgar her husband won't let her go. The man doesn't understand and suggests she gets a divorce. Then, Heiner will just be a stranger to her. He reminds her situation is bad. Right now, he is her only hope. The girl is confused and asks for more time to think. Everything is just too sudden. The man is embarrassed. He had been planning this moment for so long, he became overexcited. He apologizes and agrees to give her time to think. He hands her his business card and even writes down his hotel's address. He says she can visit him anytime. Annette is surprised. She thought the man would change, but he is still the same boy she knew. Seeing him reminds her of their innocent childhood. Back then, they really knew nothing. The man reminds her to contact him, and Annette agrees. As soon as he leaves, she begins to think. She wonders why he came looking for her. She thinks about the abandoned nobles and suddenly remembers her father was the king's nephew. Right now, she is the only person who has royal blood. After the revolution, the families that supported the monarchy were all destroyed. Heiner was the commander-in-chief and made sure peace was restored to Pedania. The people all praised him and called him their hero. He has taken over Pedania, so if the abandoned nobles want to fight back, they need help from outside. Annette understands now. If she accepts Ansgar's proposal, she will have to help him and the other nobles. But that is what she needs right now. That is the only way she can escape Heiner. That night, the couple are having dinner, but Annette refuses to eat. Heiner keeps watching her, and he looks upset. He has heard about her meeting with Ansgar and demands to know what they spoke about. Our poor girl's appetite is ruined. She is sure the maid already told him everything, yet he insists she tells him herself. She doesn't hide anything and says Ansgar wants her to divorce him. The man wants to take her back to France. Our male lead is jealous. He thinks she is asking for a divorce because she wants to marry Ansgar. Annette calls him ridiculous. This is the first time she is meeting the man in years, but her husband refuses to believe her. He thinks she might have been talking to Ansgar secretly. His words remind her of the letters, and she asks him about it. Heiner is so nervous, his hands start to shake. He refuses to answer her question and says she will never escape this place. Annette is frustrated. Ansgar could make her happy, but Heiner will never let her go. She thinks the man is trying to punish her using this marriage, but the girl has no plans of leaving. In the past, she would have happily accepted Ansgar's suggestion, but now she has changed. She knows the nobles only see her as a tool. They just need her royal blood, but our girl is done being a pawn. She is also worried about Heiner's strange behavior. His friends all want him to divorce her. She also wants to leave, yet the man keeps refusing. Just what is he planning? The next day, our heroine packs a bag and decides to go on a trip. Of course, she lies to the guards and says she is going to church. Still, they refuse to let her leave. She has to take an attendant or ask for Heiner's permission. The girl says she doesn't want to bother him. The guard tries to speak, but she shouts at him. He is afraid and lets her go. Well, we see why the guard was worried. Instead of heading to the church, our girl takes a car to the train station. The journey begins, and Annette meets a gossipy old lady. She has been sighing so much, the woman becomes worried and asks what is wrong. Our girl says she is fine and explains she is going to the beach. The woman is curious and wonders where her partner is. Our heroine reveals she is married, but her husband is a scumbag. She plans to divorce him really soon. The old lady doesn't think it is a big deal. When Annette says she doesn't have any children, the woman encourages her. It is normal for people to get divorced these days, and our girl is still young. The old lady really likes to gossip. This time, she asks why Annette's relationship with her husband is bad. Our heroine tells the lady her husband and his friends all hate her. Even if her life ends, they wouldn't care. She is tired of such a life. The lady sympathizes with her but tells her not to worry. All she needs to do is focus on the people who cherish her. Our girl knows she is right. She can't expect everyone to love her. But she is tired of everyone hating her. Even worse, the people who love her are all gone. Annette arrives at the beach. Everything is familiar and makes her happy. She hasn't come here in a long time. After her marriage, she was locked up in the mansion. She admires the place and suddenly sees a man painting. She becomes curious and decides to go over. She wants to buy a painting, but the man refuses. Instead, he wants to draw her. Our heroine is nervous. She wonders if she should take off her hat, but is afraid people might recognize her. The man notices her struggles and tells her to leave it on. But our girl decides to be brave and removes it. The man has no reaction. She doesn't know if he truly doesn't recognize her or is just pretending, but it makes her happy. The man begins to draw, but there is a huge problem. His client doesn't know how to smile. Annette tries to smile, but it looks very weird. The man is frustrated and shows her how she looks. His face is really funny and it makes her laugh. Our girl's smile is so pretty. The man tells her to keep smiling as he draws. The painting is completed and Annette looks stunning, but she refuses to accept it and says she is going to buy another one. The man shows her another painting and even offers to reduce the price. Our girl is having so much fun, but the devil himself arrives. Heiner is here. Annette leaves her bag and shoes on the sand as she plays in the sea. She seems to be having fun and picks up some shells. Suddenly, the girl stops moving and looks at the ocean. The next moment, she rushes deep into the water. Thankfully, she is stopped before she gets too far. Someone grabs her and pulls her back. Annette is stunned when she looks up and sees Heiner's terrified face. A few hours ago, our heroine thought she had escaped, but as soon as she left, the guards informed Heiner. The man is furious when he hears she is going to the train station. He chases after her and orders all checkpoints to be shut down and searched. If she tries to escape, he is going to find her. And so the man begins his new job of stalking his wife. He keeps watching her, but she looks so calm. It doesn't seem like she is trying to escape. He wonders why she left the mansion and suddenly has a terrifying thought. What if she's going to meet Ansgar? Just the thought makes him angry. He wants to drag her back to the mansion, but in the end decides to follow her. He boards the same train and isn't surprised she is in third class. After all, she has no money. He overhears her conversation with the old woman. He feels no shame when Annette says her husband and his friends don't like her. He even thinks she is right. Even if her life ends, he wouldn't care. And yet, the thought of his wife dying makes him angry. The old woman encourages the girl to focus on her loved ones. Now Heiner really feels like laughing. The girl has no family left. He is the only one she has. Even though they don't love each other, he will keep her trapped by his side forever. The man continues his stalking job and follows her to the beach. He watches her play around happily. He also thinks he is behaving like a weirdo. He is about to leave when he sees the girl smiling. Heiner is stunned by her beauty. He can't remember the last time his wife smiled. Back then, her happiest moments seem to have been spent with him. The man is annoyed because he keeps thinking of the past. His plan is to grab Annette and drag her back to the mansion immediately. He tries to convince himself he hates seeing her happy. He thinks she shouldn't be allowed to have even a minute of freedom or happiness. If she tries to escape again, he is going to lock her up. The man keeps saying he will do this and that, but watching her smile, he can't even move a step. Back to the present. Heiner pulls Annette out of the sea. The woman isn't surprised to see him. She even thought he would show up earlier. The man is annoyed by her behavior and orders her to pack up. However, our heroine isn't wearing her shoes and ends up injuring her feet. The man is frustrated, but still carries her like a princess. Except, Annette doesn't want it. She keeps telling him to put her down and insists she can walk. The man ignores her and heads to a hotel. He books a room and takes her to the bathroom. He leaves, and Annette finally notices how deep her wound is. After she washes up, she sees the man waiting for her in the room. He forces her to sit while he treats her injuries. Our girl feels embarrassed. The nobles of Pedania are not supposed to show their feet to anyone. We might think it is okay since Heiner is her husband, but they have never seen each other undress before. Her face is so red, Heiner notices. Now that he is done treating her, he starts questioning her. He wants to know what she was thinking. What is so important about this place? Why did she lie to her attendant just to come here? Even worse, why did she go swimming in the sea at night? Annette lies and says she just wanted to see the ocean, but the man doesn't believe her. At first, he thought she was secretly meeting Ansgar, but her behavior at the beach was just too strange. The girl feels guilty and looks away. She claims she was just trying to wet her feet. By running into the ocean? Who would believe that? Well, Heiner does. He has known Annette for a long time and she is scared of many things. Even simple things like dark places or water scares her. He hates how carefree she is. She went out alone and wasn't worried that something could happen to her. She left her bag on the beach and didn't think that someone could steal it. There were plenty of places to keep her things, but she chose to be careless. The girl isn't bothered and it makes him angry. He hates how she acts when things like this happen. The world has changed, but she chooses to remain the same. She is still that disgusting noblewoman. He finds her really annoying. Heiner's words are very hurtful. Annette wonders just how long he has hated her. Maybe he disliked her from their very first meeting. Thinking about it now, the man must have thought she was very foolish. Heiner is shocked to hear that, but Annette smiles. She must have been a joke to him. The woman he disliked and was pretending to love had really fallen in love with him. She even confessed her feelings. The man must have thought she was just a clown. She remembers what she said 3 years ago. Even if the kingdom had fallen and her parents died, she had never stopped loving him. The man is stunned to hear this. He doesn't know how long Annette waited. She always believed he would love her again. Every time she was broken, she would pick herself up and keep waiting. But the girl is tired. How long does she have to endure? Heiner looks desperate as he asks if she still loves him. But our heroine really doesn't know. It doesn't matter anymore. Her love has always been useless to him, so nothing will change. She makes a vow. Everything will end here. Our girl is done bathing, but when she steps outside, she sees Heiner's luggage. She is horrified and wonders if the man is staying in her room. Her husband is suspicious and thinks she is trying to escape. He even rushes to lock the door. He warns her not to think about leaving. If she tries to run away, she will be caught and dragged back. Annette is forced to go to bed. She really has to admire Heiner. Even though he rushed here, he still brought along his documents. The girl is confused by the man's behavior. Why did he come to find her, and why was he so angry? She is convinced he just wants to trap her by his side forever. She really can't understand him. Heiner is done with his work and approaches the bed. But as soon as he steps close, Annette sits up. He asks why she is still awake. The girl says she can't sleep. She decides to take her drugs, but the man stops her. He snatches the drugs away and warns her to stop taking the pills. The girl is annoyed and says it isn't her fault. The man yells at her to stop. He is afraid she will become addicted. Our heroine has been scolded and sits on the bed alone. The man keeps treating her like she is annoying. She remembers a time when he cared about her. Every time they argued, he would apologize to her first. He would hug her tightly and kiss her. Only now does she realize he was just pretending to love her. He just wanted to become her father's closest assistant. The girl knows his past actions are meaningless, but she keeps thinking about it. She's interrupted when the man appears and hands her a cup of tea. He claims it will help her sleep. Now our girl is confused again. Heiner insists on searching her bag. He is alarmed when he sees it is full of drugs. He asks her about them and she says they are for headache and digestion. She tells him the doctor thinks she is oversensitive. Heiner is annoyed but doesn't say anything. He keeps searching through her bag and finds the card Ansgar gave her. The man is jealous and quickly hides it in his coat. Annette doesn't know what he is doing. She wonders if there are restoration parties in France, but Heiner gets angry. He thinks she is asking because she wants to run away with Ansgar and join one. Our girl is really innocent. She explains she isn't thinking about that. She tells him she has nothing to hide and promises not to leave with Ansgar. Heiner doesn't care and tells her he isn't impressed. The girl reminds him of his vow to make a better world. Actually, she doesn't understand. People say the world has become a better place, but for her it is a cruel prison. The man thinks she pities him and becomes annoyed. He yells at her but immediately feels guilty. He tells her not to worry since he is doing well. The girl looks sad. She says she won't follow Ansgar and doesn't care if he believes her. She refuses to drink the tea anymore and decides to go to bed. Our heroine is finally sleeping, but now it is Heiner's turn to stay awake. He keeps watching her. Annette is asleep and has no idea a big pervert is watching her. Heiner tries to touch her but stops himself. He wonders what is wrong with him. Why didn't he just book another room? He keeps remembering the way the girl rushed into the sea and forces himself to stop thinking about her. Our male lead can't sleep and decides to become a detective. He sneaks over to Annette's clothes and searches the pockets. He had noticed her picking something up, but all he finds are some seashells. He is annoyed and wonders why she is gathering this trash. He throws them into the trash can. The man is frustrated and decides to go out for a smoke. He immediately feels much better. He had to stop smoking after he met Annette. If he wanted to smoke, he had to hide in a corner. He did this just to deceive her. But now that the act is over, he can stop pretending. Yet, he still feels frustrated. No matter how much he tries to drag her down and ruin her, her presence still affects him. He knows she still controls his vulnerable side, and it makes him really miserable. The man returns to the bedroom and sees those shells again. He remembers the girl saying her heart is useless. But Heiner knows it isn't. He knows how she feels. She must be in despair and pain because he doesn't love her back. He had once felt that same pain and knows he will always need this woman. A few days pass and our couple have returned to the mansion. Annette looks at the Pedania donation list and makes a decision. She's going to sell her jewelry. The driver offers to take her to a jewelry store, but the shop is hidden in an alley. To reach there, they will have to walk. Our heroine agrees, but she is going to wish she didn't. Annette arrives at the store and shows the man the jewelry she wants to sell. They all look beautiful. Heiner knew the girl loved pretty things. Every time they went on a date, he would prepare a gift for her. He never cared if it was expensive. She was always surprised by his gifts and would even scold him. Her room was filled with his presents. The man always said his plan was to give her all the beautiful things she liked. Back then, her life with Heiner was really beautiful. But after the revolution, her family assets were all seized. Even her personal properties were taken away. All she has left are these jewelries, and she is ready to get rid of them. The girl seems to be preparing for her death. The shop owner calculates the price. Annette is about to leave, but decides to sell her wedding ring too. The man examines it, and when he says the price, our heroine is shocked. It is so expensive, even the shop owner refuses to accept it. The girl is really surprised. The money from the other items she sold is enough to feed a person for several years, yet the ring is 3 times that price. Even when she was Rosenberg's only daughter, she never had something so expensive. Heiner must have thought only an expensive ring would satisfy her. After all, she was a foolish and vain woman who knew nothing about the world. All she cared about was enjoying everything she wanted. Our girl leaves the shop and walks back to the car. On the way, she sees a strange man looking at her. Our heroine doesn't know, but the man is taking out a gun. She feels something is wrong because the boy keeps glaring at her. His eyes look really scary. Suddenly, the man pulls out his gun and shoots her. Annette is in shock and doesn't move away. Her bodyguard appears and protects her. But it is too late. Our heroine has been shot. The girl is bleeding out, but even at that moment, she thinks about Heiner. They say he has been shot 3 times. She wonders if he also suffered from this pain. It feels like her body is being torn apart. She remembers the boy's eyes. It was full of hatred. Our heroine is in so much pain. She wishes the boy shot her in the head. Heiner is working when he receives the call that changes everything. Annette has been shot and is now unconscious. The person says she is at Luther Hospital. Our male lead abandons his work and rushes out of the office. He looks like he is about to cry. Inside the car, he keeps smoking and tries to calm down, but all he can see is Annette's pretty face. The man arrives at the hospital looking worried. The nurse leads him to Annette's room. He opens the door and sees she is still unconscious. Her doctor arrives and tells Heiner about her condition. He says the gunshot wound wasn't serious and her injury will recover soon, but he has terrible news for the man. It turns out our heroine was pregnant. The baby was still in the early stages, but because of this incident, she had a miscarriage. Heiner is in shock. He keeps trembling and asks the doctor to repeat himself. He still can't believe Annette was pregnant. The doctor has more horrible news for him. Our heroine's body has always been weak. If this baby was born, it would have been her only child. But because of this incident, the baby is gone. Now our girl will never have a child again. Heiner is struggling. He remembers the last time he slept with Annette. She always wanted to get intimate with him. He mocked her every time, thinking she was delusional. She probably thought having a child would bring them closer. But during their 4 years of marriage, she never got pregnant. The doctor said her body was too weak. Heiner thought she was barren and never expected her to get pregnant. The doctor says Annette will soon wake up. Then they will have to get rid of the baby. Heiner begs the man to hide the information from the public. He remembers his wife has been sick lately. The doctor says it might be related to the pregnancy. Annette complained of headaches and insomnia, so they all thought she was sick. Meanwhile, the girl was just pregnant. Heiner is furious. Now he wonders if those drugs she took affected the baby. The doctor agrees to change her medication and leaves the couple in the room. He thinks the rumors are true. The king is really scary. The man is also confused. The rumors say the couple's relationship is bad, but it doesn't seem to be true. A quick flashback to 3 months ago. Once again, Annette visits Heiner and wants to get intimate with him. She feels ashamed because she is always the one asking. She is afraid the man might reject her. What if he dislikes her? He might refuse to hold her and even kick her out of the room. How embarrassing. Our girl doesn't want that. She doesn't want the man to reject her. She hopes he won't kick her out because she needs to feel his touch. Well, the man accepts and they spend the night together. But when it ends, he once again leaves her behind to drown in her misery. Annette wakes up and finds herself in a strange place. Even worse, her stomach hurts. She suddenly notices Heiner standing by her side. When she sees his face, she is stunned. The man looks terrified. The doctor arrives and our heroine is told the bad news. The girl is in shock. She was convinced she was the problem. She thought she was just overreacting, but never knew she was finally pregnant. And now her baby is gone. Heiner approaches and says he has hidden the news. He promises to handle everything himself and begs her not to worry. He tells her the culprit has been caught. They have no idea why the boy attacked her, but he has been arrested. The public aren't supposed to own guns. Since the boy hurt a pregnant woman, he will be charged with murder. But our girl isn't concerned about that. She asks how old the child was. Heiner says the baby was 11 weeks and our heroine is heartbroken. She really got pregnant that night. Seeing her in so much pain, our male lead tries to cheer her up, but he makes the worst suggestion ever and says she can just adopt a child. Annette thinks she might have misheard him, but the man repeats himself again. He wants her to adopt a child. Our girl refuses. She wonders why Heiner brought up that topic when he has never wanted a child with her. She even thinks it is best that their baby is gone. The man is horrified by her words and asks her to explain. The girl's reason is simple. The child would have been unhappy. He would lack love and will always be cursed by her bad reputation. The child might even have some sickness because of all the drugs she took. She thinks Heiner is supposed to be happy, but the man looks very upset. He tells her this isn't what he wanted. He doesn't dislike having kids, he just never thought of it. He repeats what the doctor said. It will be hard for Annette to get pregnant again. For the next 4 years, they will never have a child. The girl doesn't seem bothered and even thinks the man should be happy. Having a child with her could ruin his reputation. Heiner knows she is right. Annette is the woman he hates the most, so he would never love her child. The miscarriage is a blessing to him and all his supporters. So why is he still worried about the woman? He knows how much she wanted a child. The girl is tired and tells him to leave. But once he steps outside, she begins to cry. She doesn't know if she is selfish or lonely, but she really hoped for a child. She knows the baby would have suffered if he was born. Just because it is her child, the world would hate him. She thinks it is best for the baby to disappear. But why does she still feel empty? Our heroine is getting better and will soon leave the hospital. Heiner keeps asking about the drugs she took. The doctor reveals they are harmful to a pregnant woman. He is surprised her former doctor gave her those drugs without checking if she was pregnant. Annette thinks about that nasty doctor. He didn't even care when she stopped her period. The doctor says he will give her another medicine, but the girl doesn't care. She is already used to taking drugs. Heiner takes the girl back to her room. He is furious and tells her to change her doctor. Annette is unbothered and doesn't care anymore. The man is upset that the doctor never noticed her pregnancy. He keeps talking about it, which frustrates the girl. She yells at him, wondering why he pretends to care. She says he can change her doctor if he wants. After all, he is used to controlling her life. Heiner tries to apologize, but he makes it seem like it isn't his problem. The girl is truly tired. Right now, she feels nothing for this man. Her love for him was just a waste. She insists on leaving the hospital soon. The man refuses, saying she is still weak. He suggests she starts therapy, but Annette rejects his idea. He doesn't want to upset her and agrees. Suddenly, our male lead looks shocked. He has noticed that Annette isn't wearing her ring. He asks her about it, but the girl isn't concerned. She boldly says she took it off and calls it meaningless. Heiner is still wearing his ring and quickly hides his hand. He is embarrassed and runs out of the room. Our couple tried to keep their miscarriage a secret, but the rumor still spreads. That night, a group of reporters gather outside Annette's room. She watches them from her window. In the past, Heiner would watch them harm her and would pretend not to notice. She wonders if things have changed now. Heiner arrives. He has packed her bags and they are ready to leave. They step outside and are surrounded by the reporters. He warns her not to say anything, but it is really hard. The reporters keep questioning her. They make it sound like it's all her fault. Our girl is in despair until she hears a strange sound. Someone seems to be calling her. She sees a woman at the back of the crowd. The lady says she wants to speak to her and claims to be the suspect's brother. Annette is stopped outside the hospital by the suspect's sister. She is surprised and wonders why the woman is looking for her. The reporters hear this and they become excited. They are curious about her visit and offer her an interview. But the woman refuses. She only wants to speak to Annette. She has been trying to contact her and decides to visit her today. Our heroine is curious, but Heiner chases the woman away. He pushes Annette into the car. The lady doesn't give up and says she will be waiting for our girl's letter. The couple return home. Annette keeps thinking about the woman, and for some reason, she looks familiar. She is sure she has seen her before, but doesn't know where. She has no idea if she offended the lady in the past. She can't remember anything. Our girl is in despair. She doesn't know what is true or false anymore. She thinks she is going crazy. Heiner notices she looks scared and asks her about it. The girl admits she is still thinking about the woman. She wants to know why the lady is looking for her. Heiner tells her not to worry. He believes the lady wants to beg for her brother's life. Our girl is sure that isn't the reason. The lady mentions some letters and Annette asks him about it. Heiner, the letter thief, looks guilty. He admits the lady sent many letters, but he refused to deliver them. He didn't want to upset her since she is a victim. The girl is annoyed by his behavior. The man always makes decisions for her. He also stole Ansgar's letters. She refuses to argue and says she wants to meet the lady. The man is surprised since she stops asking about the letters. Our girl doesn't care anymore and says it is all in the past. The man looks upset when he sees she really isn't concerned. His behavior confuses Annette. He keeps acting like they have a future together, but she is no longer interested. She tells him what she wants. Since he stole her letters, he has to find a way to contact the woman. The man agrees, but insists she goes with some guards. A few days pass, and Annette finally receives a report about the lady. She is called Catherine Grott and has been married for 6 months. She sells fruits on the Western Road with her husband. Our girl reads the report, but still has no idea who the woman is. She doesn't know why Catherine is interested in her. She has 2 options. She can contact the woman or just ignore everything. Annette looks out of the window and catches her husband with his lover. The 2 are taking a walk. Heiner smiles at the girl while she blushes and looks shy. They really look like a couple. Our heroine is annoyed by this scene. The man said he rejected the proposal, but it doesn't look like it. She tries to believe he wasn't lying, but how can she trust him? Their whole marriage is just a lie. Right now, she has no idea who the real Heiner is. She looks outside again, and this time the man is staring at her. He quickly looks away and turns to Anneli. Our heroine is upset and leaves the room. She has no idea the man keeps staring at the window. Heiner is looking for that figure, but she is gone. Beside him, Anneli notices and looks annoyed. Our girl has made up her mind. She is going to see Catherine. She calls the woman, but she isn't home. She leaves a message for the lady. She can visit their mansion anytime she wants. She has already informed the guards about her visit. The woman's husband promises to inform his wife. Annette doesn't know what will happen in the future. Since the woman has appeared in front of her, she decides to listen to her. She wants to know what Catherine feels and why she needs to see her. This is her only chance to face her past and remember everything she forgot. Just as he promised, Heiner changes her doctor. The new doctor is a woman called Mila Lauren. Annette introduces herself but doesn't know which last name to use. It feels wrong to use Heiner's name. The man notices and is upset again. Mila promises to change the girl's medication. She has something else to discuss. She wants Annette to start therapy. Our heroine rejects her idea. Mila tries to convince her, even saying that children in school have one. Still, the girl refuses. Annette isn't dumb. She can tell something is wrong with her mind. Sometimes, when she gets too stressed, she begins to doubt her existence. She forgets who she is and everything feels like a dream. Our girl is convinced she is going crazy. But still, she doesn't want anyone to know. Since she is so stubborn, Mila has no choice but to agree. Still, she drops the document behind. The doctor leaves and it is Heiner's turn to persuade Annette. He knows the nobles avoid therapy, but he doesn't want his wife to remain trapped in her mind. He tries to convince her this is just an illness. With the right treatment, she will be healed. Annette doesn't believe him. After all, he once threatened to lock her in a mental hospital. Heiner is annoyed and calls her stubborn. His words upset the girl. She asks if everything she does, including asking for a divorce, is just a stubborn act to him. He keeps treating her like his subordinates. The man has the nerve to look hurt. He accuses her of thinking bad about him. Well, he deserves a bad treatment, but our girl is really innocent. She has always treated him well. The man tells her to forget it and refuses to speak. He orders her to fill the form and leaves the room. Once again, their conversation ends in a fight. Annette is really frustrated. She has to admit, her life seems meaningless now. Catherine Grott has finally arrived. Annette insists on meeting the woman alone and warns Heiner not to let anyone in. Of course, the man refuses, and the couple argue again. She begins to get upset, so Heiner gives in. The guards are going to search Catherine, but he is still worried. He hands Annette his knife for self-defense. If our male lead could see the future, he would throw that knife away. But he can't, and Annette leaves with the weapon. She arrives at the meeting spot and sees Catherine waiting for her. The ladies are really nervous and stand there staring at each other. They try to speak but end up talking at the same time. Now this is awkward. They finally remember there are chairs and decide to take a seat. Catherine is worried about Annette's health, and our girl says she is better. She is surprised when she notices Catherine's belly. The woman is pregnant. Now that is just poking our girl's wounds. We have no idea if Catherine planned it, but her pregnancy reminds Annette of what she lost. She doesn't want to blame the woman, but her brother killed her baby. Now, the woman shows up pregnant and happy. Meanwhile, no one even knows Annette lost her child. The poor girl is filled with pain. She wants to get rid of these nasty feelings, but even if she speaks up, nothing will change. Her baby is gone. Catherine is actually surprised. She thought Annette would be a proud and vain woman. Our heroine wonders why, and the woman reminds her of her identity. She is Marquis Dietrich's only daughter. Annette doesn't blame Catherine. In the past, lots of people might have thought that way. She just never knew. It seems Catherine is here to talk about brothers. She asks Annette about hers, and the girl says she has a few. Except, they aren't close. Catherine says she had an older and younger brother. Just like all siblings, they fought many times, but their relationship was good. Her elder brother had big dreams. He graduated from school and got a job at a trading company. He worked hard, trying to impress his boss. He wanted a promotion and did everything he could to get it. But he failed every time. His branch manager was a noble and always stole his projects. Catherine's brother continued to endure until the noble man promoted his own son. Her brother couldn't bear the pain and decided to join the Revolutionary Army. Just like the name suggests, the people there all wanted to change. They had no special abilities or great ideas. They were just ordinary people tired of suffering. Annette can tell what is going to happen next isn't pleasant. She covers her ears and refuses to listen. She just wants to run away. But there is no escape for her. Catherine continues her story. She tells Annette she didn't get involved. She knew what her brother was doing, but he didn't have a special position in the army. He was just at the bottom. Everything was going well. Until the search for the Revolutionary Army began. Many people were captured, and Catherine's brother was one of them. They accused him of planning a civil war and claimed he was a spy for the enemy kingdom. Our poor girl wonders if she really needs to hear this story. Well, she has to, because the leader of that investigation was her father. He tortured Catherine's brother. Instead of investigating, he sentenced the man to death immediately. He seemed to be rushing somewhere, like something important had come up. Well, it was important to him. The Marquis was rushing home to attend his daughter's piano concert. Our heroine is finally faced with the past she wanted to forget. She remembers that day. The mansion was crowded with people, and everyone praised her. She was glowing, drowning in everyone's love. Her mother had wanted to capture this beautiful moment in a picture. Her father seemed to be discussing something with his assistant. Because they kept rushing him, he ordered the man to get rid of everyone. All because he didn't want to miss a picture with his daughter. But our girl never knew. She had no idea her happiness was based on the pain of others. Annette wasn't a heartless girl. She knew something was wrong, but when she asked her father, he lied to her. He said someone was making a scene at the gate because they couldn't accept the trial. He made it seem like the person committed a crime and is now refusing punishment. Our heroine was deceived and decided to forget it. She returned home, tired and excited. She couldn't sleep and headed to the balcony. She was still thinking about her concert when she heard a loud noise. She saw a young girl struggling at the gate. Some guards tried to drag her away. At that moment, the two ladies' eyes met. The girl's face was full of pain and she kept crying. Our heroine was shocked by that scene. That moment was too scary. It felt like she was forced to see the girl's suffering. She was so distracted, she didn't notice the man sneaking up until he grabbed her. It turned out to be Ansgar, and our girl was annoyed. He apologized and said he had been calling her name. He wants to see what she is looking at. Annette truly thought the girl disobeyed the trial. She tried to look at her again, but the lady was gone. Only her scarf is left. Our girl remembers the past now. Catherine says her older brother was executed the next morning. She couldn't even make an appeal. Our heroine is in shock and keeps trembling. She doesn't blame Catherine when she says she wished for the royal family's collapse. She finally realizes that the young girl was her. But Catherine waited for the day the royal family would apologize and receive their punishment. Well, she didn't have to wait long. The next day, the Marquis's death was announced. The Revolutionary Army invaded his home and shot him. But the man's death was too simple. Catherine never received her apology. Enough of that sad past. The woman isn't here to beg for her younger brother's life. She knows he did something terrible and deserves to be punished. The only reason she came here is to remind Annette of the past. She wants the girl to know how her older brother died. Still, she doesn't blame our heroine. After all, she never knew what happened. She tells the girl not to feel guilty. Annette is in shock and doesn't reply. Catherine apologizes for her brother's behavior. She prays for the girl's safety and turns to leave. The voices in Annette's head want her to run away, but she knows this is her only chance to repent. Catherine hears a sound and stops. she sees Annette apologizing to her. The girl is crying and keeps saying she is sorry. The woman is relieved because she finally receives her apology. Annette is in despair and blames herself. She never tried to understand anything. She lived in her perfect world and never knew what others were suffering. Only now does she understand they are all the same. She might be a noble, but she isn't different from the commoners. She met with Catherine because she wanted to face her past and judge herself. Now she finally understands the truth. She can't change the past. Heiner is shocked when Annette hands him a petition. She wants David Buckle to be released. The man doesn't understand why she wants to pardon her attacker. He believes Catherine must have brainwashed her. Annette tells him she can make her own decisions. The man is upset. He wonders if she is trying to become a saint. Annette is amused and laughs. She says she can never be one. She just decided to do this. Heiner is stunned to see his wife smile again. He mentions it, and the girl becomes shy. Now things are awkward. The two stare at each other until Annette suddenly apologizes. She tells him to forgive her for everything, even the things she never knew about. She knows he hates her because of her father, but that isn't the only reason. She apologizes for the reasons she doesn't know. The man is amused and tells her not to apologize. Annette sits alone in her bathroom thinking about her life. Even if she insists she is innocent, no one will believe her. Because she was born into the wrong family, everyone believes she is guilty. The girl knows she can't continue to pay the price for her family's sin. She has made a decision. We see our heroine lying in the bathtub looking beautiful, but she seems to be planning something dangerous. The girl knows Heiner wants to take his revenge on her. As long as she lives, he will make her life miserable. He is going to trap her in this marriage and watch her suffer. But she can't endure it anymore. She is tired and broken, so she makes her decision. She picks up the knife Heiner gave her. Since her existence seems to cause pain to everyone, she is ready to abandon this life. From the moment Heiner gave her the knife, she already had a plan. She is going to end her life with it. For the first time, the girl looks at peace. Heiner is in his study. He is still surprised that Annette wrote a pardon letter. He tries reading it, but the handwriting is just too ugly. He compares it with the girl's former letters, and it clearly looks different. The man gets distracted and starts reading her past letters. Our heroine was really a funny girl. She says it is an apology letter, but she scolds him throughout. She calls the jewelries he gave her pretty, but refuses to be bribed by his gifts. She says he has good taste in jewelry and women. She is clearly praising herself. She expresses her love for him. Every time she sees a beautiful dress, she thinks about their next meeting. She imagines wearing the dress to see him. It is such a long letter, but she finally gets to the part where she apologizes. And even then, she does it proudly. Such a cute letter. Even the cold-hearted Heiner is smiling. He admits he also thinks about her. He has totally forgotten he is supposed to hate her. The man remembers and gets frustrated. Those letters remind him of the happy days he spent with Annette. He tries to hide it, but even though their love was a lie, he was really happy. He had prayed that the cruel future would never come. Our male lead suddenly realizes he doesn't hate the girl anymore. But it is too late. Heiner suddenly remembers something important. Annette was never one to apologize. She is so proud she would rather send a letter than tell him sorry. And even those letters would start with a scolding. Yet that woman apologized to him today. The man remembers all the times she tried to harm herself and starts to panic. He doesn't want to believe it, but the woman has changed. Our male lead runs out of the room. He keeps wondering when Annette changed. When did she become this sad woman and lose her smile? Heiner sees some maids and stops them. He wants to know where his wife is. They tell him she was tired and decided to rest. Still, the man feels uneasy. He has a feeling something is wrong. He rushes to her room and calls her, but she doesn't answer. The man opens the door and searches everywhere. He keeps calling her name, but there is no reply. He finally heads to her bathroom and sees a shocking scene. The whole place is covered in blood. Annette lies there lifeless. The maids approach and he orders them to call the doctor. He keeps begging the girl not to leave. The place is in chaos. The maids run around while Mila stitches the girl's wounds. Heiner watches them and remembers the cruel words he said to Annette. He cursed the girl to be in despair and wanted her to lose everything. Since his life was full of darkness, she also had to suffer. But the truth is, he wanted to be part of her misery and sadness. He knows it is twisted, but he must be part of her life. Heiner has a dream. He sees himself in the Rosenberg garden. Annette appears by his side and demands to know what he is doing. He admits he is thinking of her. He remembers the first time they met. The girl assumes he is talking about their first meeting in this garden, but he says he had met her long ago. The scene changes, and a younger Annette is playing the piano. Heiner watches her when he suddenly sees a blue rose. He hears a loud sound and wakes up. The man looks like he is in pain. Several days pass and our girl is still unconscious. Heiner has turned into the night watcher and stays by her side. He feels frustrated when he remembers his conversation with Mila. The woman says his wife's body is too weak. She had barely recovered from her gunshot wound and the miscarriage when this happened. She lost a lot of blood, so her injuries became worse. She will probably take a long time to recover. The woman thinks there is another reason why the girl isn't waking up. She is probably tired of living. Heiner recalls everything. He still can't believe Annette would end her own life. He remembers her as a weak woman, afraid of even the smallest things. She is also scared of blood, so how could she hurt herself? The man is in despair. He suddenly hears a strange voice. A cruel version of him appears and reminds him this was his plan. He wanted Annette to live a life worse than death. Now the girl is so unhappy, she is willing to end her life. In the past, Heiner had prayed for her death and even wanted to kill her himself. Our male lead is reminded of his cruel acts. He admits he tried to kill her. He wanted her gone, but in the end, he couldn't do it. The cruel version isn't worried since things ended up in their favor. But Heiner doesn't want this anymore. This wasn't his plan. He doesn't want Annette to leave him. The hallucination ends and the man starts trembling. The public has heard about the incident, but no one supports Annette. They all believe she is trying to get some attention and pity. The papers call her a nasty woman. Their mansion has been surrounded by reporters. Our male lead really feels like shooting them all. He is still thinking about this when the butler says a visitor has arrived. Someone is here to see Annette. Heiner refuses to let them in and says his wife is still sick. The visitor isn't prepared to leave and wants to meet Heiner instead. Our male lead wonders who this stubborn visitor is. Well, it is Ansgar. Heiner wants to chase him away, but remembers how angry Annette was when he stole her letters. He doesn't want to upset the girl again and decides to see the man. But as soon as he steps into the hall, he is attacked. Ansgar blames him for ruining the girl's life. Ansgar is furious and attacks Heiner. He blames the man for ruining the lives of all the nobles. He expects him to feel bad, but Heiner merely pushes him away. He warns Ansgar to speak carefully. He questions the man, asking why he is here. Well, the answer is simple. Ansgar is here to take Annette away. After this incident, he doesn't think Heiner can protect the lady. Our male lead refuses. He knows Ansgar will take her back to Francia and join the Revolutionary Party. Heiner won't let that happen. He tries to convince the man that Annette has no value. Secretly, he wonders why the Restoration Party is desperate to have his wife. He can think of only one reason. Annette is still young and has royal blood. If she travels to France and marries a noble, they can continue the royal bloodline. Unfortunately, the girl is now barren, so the party's plan is destined to fail. Our male lead wonders how Ansgar will react if he knows the truth. He tells the man he can't let Annette go. The boy becomes furious, asking if Heiner hasn't done enough. Annette has suffered too much already. Our male lead wasn't lying when he said he can't leave the girl. Annette is his reason for living. Ansgar doesn't care about Heiner's feelings. He is going to help Annette file for divorce. The man almost forced her to die, which is enough reason to end their marriage. If they escape to Francia, Heiner wouldn't be able to do anything. Our male lead is furious and says his plan won't work. Well, Ansgar is ready to challenge him. He is going to drag Heiner to court and watch him disgrace himself. He is about to leave, but the man stops him. He asks him if he still loves Annette and wants to marry her. Ansgar reminds him it isn't his business. Our male lead thinks the girl won't be happy in France. Well, Ansgar gives him a harsh blow. The girl might not be happy, but she won't be depressed to the point of death. Major Eugene arrives at the mansion with some documents for Heiner. Our male lead reminds him he is on vacation, and the major apologizes. He notices how stressed the king looks and thinks it is because of Annette. Just like the rest of the public, he's convinced the woman is looking for attention. Our male lead is so furious, he calls the major's full government name. He says his wife really tried to kill herself. She didn't do it for attention. She really wanted to end her life. Heiner tried to ignore the truth, but he finally admits it is his fault. She wanted to die because of him. The man goes to Annette's room, but the place is empty. He remembers Mila saying the girl has been moved to the annex. He isn't used to such an empty space. Our male lead refuses to accept it, but they are all preparing for her death. He needs something to remind him of her presence and decides to search her room. He sees a small bag and assumes it is her jewelry. He opens it, but what he sees are the shells she picked at the beach. Our male lead remembers throwing them away. His little wife must have picked them from the trash can. He is confused, wondering why she did that. He keeps searching, looking for her belongings, but nothing is here. The man starts to panic. He refuses to believe she is gone. He finally sees a small safe and opens it. Inside is Annette's jewelry box and a document from the Pedanias Association. Our heroine was in charge of the committee, but after the revolution, she was banned from work. The man finds her behavior strange. Why does she do things no one would notice? He opens her jewelry box and is shocked to see their wedding ring. That is when he finally realizes the girl had always been planning to disappear. Heiner goes to her room. He keeps looking at their wedding rings. He had never taken his off. Not when he hated her or even when he missed her. He always wore this ring. The man doesn't know what to do. He thinks she isn't innocent, so he can never forgive her. A part of him will always hate her and will continue this revenge. But another part wants to treat her right. He makes a promise. When she wakes up, he will take her on a trip to the beach. He will let her play around and allow her do everything she wants. All he needs is for her to stay with him. Heiner has resumed his duty as the night watcher and is sitting by Annette's bedside again. He has no idea the girl on the bed is about to wake up. Our heroine keeps hearing the sound of the piano. She wonders what is going on and where she is. She finally opens her eyes, but she sees the man she is trying to escape from. The girl is shocked. Seeing Heiner next to her, she clearly looks terrified. The man is stunned by her behavior, but people arrive. Our shocked male lead is forced to the back of the room. Mila is done with her checkup and tells him the girl needs to rest. She advises him to leave the room. Heiner agrees, but outside the door, he falls to the ground. He had always thought Annette would wake up and regret trying to die. He knows how much she dislikes pain, so he assumed she would regret her decision. But he was wrong. The man starts to cry as he remembers the look on her face. The girl was disappointed she was still alive. Heiner isn't wrong. Our heroine is in despair and wishes she didn't survive. She blames herself for being too weak. She probably should have slit her wrists even harder. She wonders why Heiner saved her. Annette wants to be alone, but the maid refuses to leave. They are all worried she might do something dangerous again. She tries to convince the maid she's fine, but the girl goes to call Heiner. Now our heroine is disappointed. Heiner sits beside her and keeps worrying about her health. He had ordered the maids not to leave her alone. Our girl isn't interested in his explanation and asks why he saved her. She tells him his plan had worked. Just like he wanted, her life was already miserable. She wanted to end it all, but as always, the man just has to ruin everything. Heiner is shocked to hear that. He questions her, asking if he should have let her go. But that is exactly what she wants. The man says he doesn't want her to die. Annette finds it funny and tells him not to lie. He must have wished for her end even once. She thinks Heiner is really cruel. He wants her to suffer and remain in misery forever, yet he refuses to let her die. He really doesn't treat her as a human. She tells him this behavior is worse than wishing for her end. Heiner is in despair, but the girl doesn't care. He tries to convince her he never wished for her death. Another day arrives, and our heroine is feeling better. She returns to her room and receives all of Ansgar's letters. She feels upset. She knows things have changed and will never be the same. She is prepared to leave all her good memories with Ansgar in the past. The man she is thinking about arrives. He is still worried about her health, and she assures him she is fine. Well, the man can scold her now. He wonders why she never reached out to him. Our girl apologizes. She didn't want to burden him since she couldn't accept his proposal. The man feels sorry and once again offers to take her to France. He promises to treat her well. All he wants is to make her happy and end her miserable life in Pedania. She can only escape if she leaves with him. He scolds her again, wondering why she chose to die when she had other options. Annette is convinced he just wants her to carry on the royal bloodline. She tells him she is barren. The man is clearly shocked to hear that. She believes she is useless, so she can't leave with him. Ansgar decides to confess and says she is right. He admits the restoration party wants to use her. That was why they sent him to Pedania. However, the man has his own plans. He doesn't care if she is barren. He still wants to take her with him. The girl is really confused and wonders if he has a secret mission. Ansgar starts to blush and says he likes her. Annette doesn't believe him. The people who liked her only loved her status and power. Now, she has nothing to offer him, but the man doesn't need anything. All he wants is Annette. The girl asks if he wants to marry her. Now Ansgar turns into a shy schoolboy. He is really in love with her. He wants to marry her but knows they will have to wait till she divorces Heiner. Still, he is willing to wait. All he wants is to hear her answer. He offers her his hand again and says they should go to France together. Ansgar leaves the room, but he doesn't look so happy. Outside, our male lead is feeling smug and tells the boy not to visit his wife again. Ansgar is offended and wonders what right he has to say that. Well, Heiner reminds him he is currently Annette's husband. Now it is the boy's turn to laugh. He tells Heiner the girl is going to divorce him and move to France with him. Our male lead is sure his wife hasn't agreed. Ansgar believes she will. Anything is better than staying in this hellhole with Heiner. Our male lead is upset and decides to use his final weapon. He tells Ansgar the girl is barren. He expects the man to be shocked, but he says he already knows. Now it is Heiner's turn to be surprised. Ansgar mocks him. He wonders what Heiner was expecting. Did he really think he would abandon Annette just because she's barren? Our male lead is more upset that Ansgar knows their secret. He wonders who told him, but there is only one answer. Still, he refuses to believe it. The boy boasts about his relationship with Annette. He probably knows her better than her husband will. After all, they spent years together. He thinks Heiner's plan to ruin their relationship is childish. Heiner is upset. He reminds Ansgar they spent 3 years apart. Their relationship has surely changed. He doesn't care if Annette agreed to leave. He will never let the girl go. He tells the boy Annette can never leave him. Ansgar is shocked by how crazy the man looks. Our male lead warns him to leave and walks away. The boy finally understands why Heiner kept saying Annette wouldn't be happy with him. He was just trying to ignore the truth. The lady they are fighting for is relaxing in bed, wondering why her hands are cold. She recalls Ansgar's proposal. It would be easy to leave with him, but she doesn't want to burden the boy. He wouldn't gain anything if he marries her. Besides, just imagining her life with him is already stressful. The last person she wants to see arrives. Heiner is here and suggests they take a walk. Annette doesn't argue and dresses up. The man thinks she isn't covered enough and puts a scarf around her. The two can't even look at each other. They step outside, but the man is still worried. He is sure she must be cold and even offers her his gloves. The girl doesn't want to argue, so she accepts them. However, they are way too big. The man is amused. He is feeling happy and decides to take her on a trip. Unfortunately, the girl isn't interested. Still, he keeps mentioning the places they could visit and even makes plans for next year. His mouth probably hurts from saying so much, but the girl doesn't reply. When she does, she simply agrees. Yet, the man is relieved. He believes things are getting better, but the next day, a sharp comb is found in Annette's room. Our heroine is forced to start therapy. She is uninterested, but still attends each session. Heiner tries to talk to her every day, but she has become quiet. She only nods when he speaks. The girl seems to be improving, but every night the man wakes up in fear. He still feels uneasy. He visits her room and sees her sleeping, yet he still feels she is in danger. The end of the year arrives and our male lead prepares a gift for his wife. He thinks she will be very happy. She has always liked surprises and beautiful jewelry. He even plans to take her on a walk. He goes looking for her, but she doesn't open the door. The man feels uneasy. He tries to open the door, but it is locked. Just then, he sees Annette's maid outside. The woman left the girl alone. Our male lead panics and breaks open the door. He sees a heartbreaking scene. His wife has hanged herself. Heiner cuts the rope and saves his wife. But instead of being happy, the girl starts crying. The man tries to question her, but he is also confused. He doesn't know what to do and begs her to help him. But there is only one thing she wants. She wants to end her life. The man finally realizes that he can't stop her. The girl can end her life at any moment and will leave him forever. Heiner doesn't want that to happen and has a crazy idea. He can just lock her up and chain her. If he watches her every day, she won't be able to leave him. But even the man knows that is a crazy idea. Really, he should be the one in a mental hospital. He is confused and wonders if he should divorce her. He decides to let her go. She can travel with Ansgar back to France and do whatever she wants. He doesn't care anymore. All he wants is to see her alive. He is ready to divorce her just so she can live. And he does. The next day, all the documents are prepared for Annette. Our girl signs the divorce papers and she is finally free. The lawyer mentions something about staying longer, but Annette refuses. It turns out to be Heiner's idea as she meets him on her way out. The man holds her hands for the last time. He will let her do whatever she wants, but she has to stay alive. He hands her some jewelry, and inside is Ansgar's card. The couple say their final goodbyes, and this horrible marriage finally ends. Annette has gotten her divorce and is finally free, yet she feels nothing. She has forgotten her promise to Heiner and starts thinking about dying again. She has nothing to live for. The girl makes up her mind and is already choosing which method to use when someone approaches. She looks up and is shocked to see the person. A few minutes ago, Heiner watches the girl leave. He wonders where everything went wrong. From the first moment he saw her, he decided to become her father's dog. All he wanted was to stay by her side and be closer to her, but he knew she could never notice him. He was just a boy from the slums. And so, he decided to change his fate. He became heartless, killing countless people in a bloody manner. And that is why he hates Annette. He had to sacrifice his life and blood just to make her happy. He became this evil creature while she remained happy and innocent. He probably thought it was unfair. The man cries because his misfortune started with her. Everything began on that island. To understand our male lead's pain, we have to go back to the past. In a hidden island, the royal family built a secret military training ground. And right now, a group of trainees are beating an innocent boy. They only stop when a girl arrives and tells them to leave. She looks at the injured boy and feels sad. They have ruined such a handsome face. She also abandons him, leaving the child alone. The injured boy with the handsome face is 15-year-old Heiner. The trainees are gathered for battle. They have to go through another survival test. The game will last for 3 hours, and anytime they steal someone's name tag, they get a point. They must also reach the finish line before the time is up. It sounds like a fun game until they start sharing knives. There are no rules, so everyone can do what they want. Heiner is worried about his friend Ethan. He remembers their conversation last night. The boy was annoyed when he saw the injuries on Heiner. For some reason, the graduates keep bullying his friend. They talked about the test and made a promise. They will ignore each other during the battle. Their other friends have also agreed, and they vow not to attack each other. The commander prays for their safety, and the battle begins. The training camp isn't as innocent as it looks. The royal family are secretly training spies and informants, and most of them are orphans. The royal family claimed they were cleaning the streets, but they were just gathering the children. Our male lead lost both his parents and grew up in an orphanage. He was forced into the island at the age of 12. He has 7 years until he graduates, but first he has to survive till then. Heiner is violently doing his mission when he is suddenly attacked. Those graduates are here to bully him again. The boy quickly hides. The bullies don't take him serious and even start arguing. Heiner knows he can't defeat them. They are just too many. He tries to think of another way, until he notices they have killed his friend, Ethan. Our male lead is upset. The two friends had planned to survive till the end. The bullies continue mocking Heiner, certain they can defeat him. They even suggest he might have used his body to get in here. Now Heiner is really angry. He had been holding back all this time because he didn't want any attention. But not anymore. While the boys are murdering themselves, their leader is relaxing on a hill. It turns out to be Marquis Dietrich, Annette's father. His assistant praises him for improving the facility, but the man isn't happy. He thinks a comfortable environment will make the boys lazy. He orders the assistant to only keep a few children alive. Feeding so many people is just too expensive. It turns out the survival test they are taking is just a way to reduce their numbers. The assistant promises to get rid of more of them. The Marquis wonders if there are any outstanding students in the batch. His assistant keeps talking about Benjamin and praises him. That is our male lead's bully. The assistant thinks he is the best student, but he is going to be disappointed. The battle finally ends, and the people who survived climb the hill. Dietrich isn't interested in them and thinks they are all average. Wait until he sees our male lead. He looks shocked and immediately asks about him. The assistant introduces Heiner and says he is also strong. But something even more shocking happens. The assistant tells Dietrich the news. Benjamin and 4 other members of the graduating class are all dead. They were all killed by one person, Heiner Valdemar. Back at the training camp, Heiner's friend can't believe he killed 4 seniors. He thinks the boys' injuries are worth it. He wonders how Heiner did it, but our male lead is used to violence. Even in the orphanage, he suffered from it. Hugo thinks he was getting revenge for Ethan. Well, the reason doesn't matter. No one will mess with Heiner from now on. He makes up his mind to follow the boy around. The two are having fun when their instructor arrives. He has good news for Heiner. The boy can now use the instructor's clinic. Also, the Marquis has invited him to the Rosenberg mansion for lunch. The instructor says they will leave tomorrow morning. Immediately he leaves, Hugo starts jumping around. He shoves Heiner, totally forgetting the boy is injured. He can't believe his friend will visit the Marquis' mansion. Usually, only the top students from the graduation class are invited. Hugo is excited and imagines Heiner's future. His friend could join the Marquis' special operations team. Our male lead is also excited. He feels a bit sad when he thinks of Ethan. The boy's only dream was to join that unit. That night, our male lead couldn't sleep. He has heard about the Rosenberg mansion and how beautiful it is. This might also be his only chance. The royal family assigns missions that the regular army can't handle to the students from the training camp. Because they have to be undercover, the students cannot join the regular army. The Marquis' Special Operations Unit is the only exception. Joining that unit is every trainee's dream. The day of the visit arrives and Heiner is speechless. He keeps looking around and can't believe such a beautiful mansion exists. It is time for lunch and our male lead is stunned again. This is his first time seeing such expensive food. When he looks up, there is a painting of a beautiful girl right above him. The boy is really living life. The Marquis notices the boy staring at the painting. Heiner feels ashamed and explains he has never seen something so beautiful. Dietrich doesn't look down on him. After all, even nobles are amazed by it. He calls the drawing sacred and says when he first saw it, he couldn't close his mouth. Apart from his mansion, only the royal palace can afford a ceiling painting like this. Heiner is still amazed and keeps staring at it. He never believed in divine creatures before, but this painting seems so real. He thinks it is really sacred. The boys are done with lunch and the Marquis invites them to his garden. His assistant calls him over for work and he has to leave. The supervisor says the boys will leave at 4. Until then, they can take a walk in the garden and admire the flowers. Our male lead is certainly different. Instead of admiring the flowers, he searches for a spot to sleep. We won't blame him since he is still injured. He finds the perfect place. Someone had put a bench under the tree. Heiner is ready to take a nap when he suddenly hears some music. Well, now his sleep is gone. The boy recognizes the song. He once had a music box, and this was his favorite song. He traces the sound and arrives at the mansion. He sees an open window, and when he looks in, he spots a young girl playing the piano. From the moment he looks at her, Heiner is smitten. She looks so different from him. She is beautiful, like a sacred, noble human. She looks just like that painting. The boy is distracted and steps on a tree branch. The sound alarms the girl and she rushes to the window. But it is too late. He has escaped. Heiner runs all the way back. He keeps thinking about the song he just heard. It reminds him of the music box he was given at the orphanage. That was his first time having such a gift, but someone just had to ruin it. Some bullies destroyed his music box. Heiner knew it was already useless, but still kept it with him. The boy finally stops and starts to wonder why he ran away. He really wanted to speak to her and praise her performance, but he couldn't. From that moment onwards, that beautiful girl in white became the focus of his entire life. Even when training for missions, Heiner keeps thinking about her. She is the only daughter of the Marquis, and her dream is to become a pianist. He feels inferior. They were born into different worlds. She is a noble, and he is just a commoner. She carries the royal blood while he is just one of the many agents in the training camp. Heiner is distracted and gets injured during training. He goes to the hill to be alone, but someone just has to disturb him. Yugo arrives. He has noticed Heiner's strange behavior. The boy keeps making mistakes. Like a logical person, Yugo thinks Heiner has gone crazy. Our male lead distracts him and shows him his wound. Yugo wonders why he didn't go to the clinic. Does he plan to get an infection and die? Heiner is really regretting his choice of friends. He thinks Yugo is noisy, but the boy makes it worse and forms a flute. He teaches Heiner how to make one, and the two have fun playing it. Our male lead is terrible at it, and Yugo laughs at him. Heiner is disappointed. He really wants to hear that song again. He just wants to go back to that moment and watch the girl play one more time. Our male lead seems to be on steroids. Every test they take, he is always the best. The other trainees all gossip about him. He is now in the spotlight. During their assembly, Heiner is awarded for being top of the class. He struggled to be at the top and did everything he could, just so he could see that girl once again. And he does. He is invited to the Marquis' mansion again. After lunch, he sneaks off to find Annette. Heiner never had any ambitions. He didn't even want to succeed. His only wish is to watch the girl perform again. Every time he hears her play, he imagines a different world between them. In that world, he can hold her hand and dance with her. There, they can fall in love happily. The next day, the camp doctor calls Heiner to her office. She has noticed his changes and is concerned about him. The clinic seems to be giving them some drugs to control their moods. Heiner doesn't refuse. Before he leaves, the woman warns him not to overwork himself. She has worked at the camp for 12 years and has never seen a trainee have a good ending. She says having desires could ruin him. Heiner doesn't understand her, but the next day, the doctor is found dead. We all thought the survival battles were the worst, but the camp has come up with a new test. The biannual torture training. Heiner is tied up and blindfolded. He has to endure a harsh beating while a man mocks and insults him. He calls orphans like Heiner beggars who leech off society. He thinks they need to be re-educated, and that was why they were sent to the training camp. Only then can they become useful members of society. Our male lead is brainwashed. He regrets being born this way. He wishes he was born into a respectable family. The man convinces him the only way he can become useful is to sacrifice his body for the nation. He has to use his strength to protect the country. He keeps talking, but Heiner is thinking of Annette. If he were born into a better family, he could speak to her without fear, and she would treat him kindly. Heiner imagines that world. The girl would ask for his name and care about his injuries. He could tell her he likes listening to her performance. He would show her his music box and she would play the piano for him. In that world, it would just be the two of them. The torture ends and the boy once again goes looking for Annette. He thinks her life is beautiful. She can play the piano anytime she wants. No one would feed her strange drugs or torture her. She might not even know the training camp exists. He imagines how she would feel if she knew. She would probably be angry and feel pity for him. Heiner has convinced himself the girl is some divine and noble goddess. 4 years have passed, and just like Heiner wanted, he has joined the Special Task Forces. Dietrich throws a banquet and welcomes them into the team. Heiner is upset. He has just received a new mission and doesn't know when he will return to Pedania. He must prove his loyalty, even if he has to risk his life. If he shows how useful he is, he can join the regular army. He once again visits Annette, but this time he brings her some flowers. He wants to improve himself just so he can get closer to the girl. If he becomes a better person, he might finally be able to approach her. He would introduce himself and she would finally notice him. Maybe then, he can stop hiding to watch her. He drops the flowers on the window and whispers her name. Just hearing it makes him blush, and he runs away shyly. Our male lead carries out his missions and 5 years pass. He returns to the Rosenberg mansion with his friend. Suddenly, he sees Annette watching him. Heiner stops and stands there shocked. Jackson has also seen her and admires her beauty. Just by looking at her, you can tell she is different from them. Heiner agrees. He still feels some regret. After returning from his mission, he found her piano room empty. She had moved to the inner part of the mansion. Heiner wonders if his struggles are worth it. How can he stand beside the most noble woman in Pedania? Right now, the only time he sees her is when he gets lucky. Heiner stands there daydreaming until Jackson touches him. He feels embarrassed. He had totally forgotten the man was here. He tries to cover up and says he was just looking. Jackson teases him, wondering if the strict Heiner has fallen in love. He believes the man might have a chance. Annette is known to like handsome men and doesn't even care if they are nobles. And she is so stubborn, even the Marquis can't control her love life. Heiner still feels inferior. He thinks she will only date people from the middle class and not a commoner. Jackson encourages him to join the regular army. That way, his status will change. Meanwhile, our male lead is going through all the stages of jealousy. He wonders how many men Annette has met and if smiled at them or held their hands. When he realizes what he is thinking about, he feels pathetic. Heiner heads to Franca on another mission with his team. They gather in a cave and complain about their hard life. They are all playing around. Well, except for Heiner. He still has that serious look on his face. His team members start to tease him. They remember the mysterious drug they were given to suppress their emotions. It seems to have worked on Heiner. The man isn't bothered by their jokes. One of the members says she has a lover. The rest wonder why she is dating. She can't even get married. Jackson thinks their instructors should ban relationships. After all, it is a form of weakness. The rest of the team protests. Who wouldn't want to have a cute lover? Anne asks Heiner if he has someone he cherishes. Jackson is convinced the man is just a block of wood. They want to know how Heiner would treat his lover. Will he cherish her, or is he the possessive type? It seems Heiner has always had a twisted sense of love. He sees no use cherishing his partner. Since she is precious to him, others would also be interested in her. She might even get snatched away. His friends aren't satisfied and ask what he would do if she is taken away. The man says he will destroy her. Only when she is ruined will others stop wanting her. Now that is twisted. His friends are all spooked and call him crazy. Hugo defends him. After spending years on that island, no one will remain sane. Heiner also thinks he might be broken. The more he thinks about Annette, the more miserable he becomes. He is so in love with her, yet she doesn't notice him. She doesn't even know he exists. The deeper his love for her, the more miserable he becomes. Heiner starts to regret these feelings. He wishes he never met her in the first place. Our male lead's mission has gone wrong. He is locked in a prison cell. There was a traitor in their team and all the members were captured. Only Jackson could escape. Heiner trusts the man and believes he will bring others to save them. He just has to endure till then. His enemies arrive and begin to hit him. Heiner is determined to survive and return to Pedania. He endures the torture. But even though he is used to violence, it becomes hard. Another day arrives and he is dragged to the interrogation room. The leader of the enemy team interrogates Heiner. He wants the boy to believe his teammates have revealed their secrets. Our male lead isn't dumb. He knows the man is lying. If his members had confessed, he wouldn't be looking for more information. The leader admits he is right. Each member says a different thing. The man knows they work for the Marquis and Heiner wonders how he found out. He believes the traitor must have told him. Our male lead already has a suspect. Heiner is tortured again. The leader has a nasty plan. He promises to spare Heiner if the boy tells him something random, but he will apologize to his teammates and act like he already confessed. He has to convince them to also spill the truth. Our male lead refuses. He believes Jackson will inform the Marquis and return to help them. He just has to endure till then. He refuses to speak, but the leader doesn't rush him. He even gives him time and leaves to torture the rest of the team. Several days pass, and Heiner is dragged back to the interrogation room. This time, he meets Hugo. The two men have similar swollen faces. They even joke around. Hugo is tired and tries to persuade Heiner to confess. Our male lead is shocked and wonders if his friend was threatened. But Hugo isn't. He knows the enemies are going to kill them. Instead of enduring this torture, he wants to confess and have an easy death. Heiner tries to persuade him to hold on, but the man is tired. He already found out who the traitor was. It was Jackson. He managed to escape because he was a spy for Franca. Heiner already suspected him but refused to believe it. Hugo wonders why Jackson betrayed them, but they would never know. The man has really given up. Before the guards drag him out, he thanks Heiner for saving him during the training camp. He is really grateful. Several days pass and Heiner still refuses to speak. The leader is frustrated. None of the members have the full information. 2 have even died. They need Heiner's confession to find out the full truth. He keeps promising to spare Heiner's life, but we know that is a lie. Our male lead is going crazy. He wants to live and isn't going to die this way. He calls the leader desperate and refuses to speak. If he confesses, he will be killed by the Marquis when he returns. He is determined not to talk until the end. He starts provoking the leader and insults him. He wants them to keep torturing him. He can only survive if he refuses to confess. The leader is angry and attacks Heiner. Beating him up isn't enough, so he calls his men over. Our male lead is in despair. It feels like his body is about to shatter. Everything hurts. He wonders if he should just give up like Hugo did. Well, I think he should because the leader plans to use a hot iron to crave his chest. Still, Heiner refuses. He will endure everything and return to his beloved. Then, he can finally stop hiding under the window just to look at her. He will stand in front of her and call her name. Throughout this torture, Heiner's only hope is Annette. Heiner is locked up in his cell after the torture and the soldiers mock him. Our male lead is having a fever. Everything hurts so much, but he refuses to give up. He is determined to return to Pedania and meet Annette. He wonders what the girl is doing. While he is suffering and almost dying, she must be sitting at her piano peacefully playing her music. Or maybe she is sad, because of some little mistakes. Heiner knows it isn't her fault. She was born into a life of privilege, so he can't blame her for being innocent. He is sure no one told her the truth. He believes she will be angry if she finds out. To him, Annette is as innocent and pure as her music. She should be cherished by the whole nation. Our male lead doesn't die. He spends years locked up in the prison of Franca. Suddenly a war starts in the country. The prison is destroyed and the prisoners escape. Heiner is among them. Some of his team members survive, but they are too weak, so he kills them. In the end, he makes it out with Anne. The girl doesn't protest when he points a gun at her. After all, she leaked their country's secret. They have been trained to kill traitors. The girl accepts her fate and Heiner puts her down. He knows she is right and all traitors must die. But still he has his doubts. The country he is fighting for has never been a home to him. He doesn't know what is right or wrong anymore. All he wants to do is to survive. He must return to Pedania and see his beloved. Heiner manages to escape and returns to Pedania. The Marquis throws a party to welcome him back. Our male lead has even been promoted to captain. Heiner survives, but the things that were special to him now look ordinary. Even the banquet doesn't excite him. The Marquis is very happy and keeps praising him. Our male lead has finally joined the royal army. The Marquis heard about the mission's failure, but never expected Heiner to make it back. He even handed over Franca's secrets. Because of him, Dietrich has been promoted. The man is pleased and decides to also promote Heiner. He makes him a lieutenant. Our male lead isn't excited and just thanks him. The Marquis keeps flattering him. He knew the boy was going to be great right from the training camp. He remembers how Heiner killed 4 seniors at the same time. He heard that there was bad blood between them. Heiner doesn't know what that means and says they just attacked him. The Marquis notices that Heiner isn't sociable and asks about his relationship with his teammates. Heiner says they weren't close, which the Marquis likes. He doesn't want the boy to get attached. He thinks emotions make people weak. He claims he was upset after hearing about the failed mission. He wanted to do a prisoner exchange, but thought the people weren't valuable. After all, Heiner was the only one who survived. He thinks the others should be grateful they died for the country. They were just nameless people picked from the streets. Heiner doesn't argue and says the man is right. He returns to his room but keeps thinking about those days of torture. He isn't stupid. He can tell the Marquis never planned to save them. They risked their lives to help the country, but the man never cared. He had abandoned them right from the start. The team had ended up dying in a foreign country without a grave. But Heiner doesn't want to think about that. His mission was successful, and because of him, the Marquis got promoted. He thinks everything is over, but it has only just begun. Enjoying this so far? Comment Heiner for part 2. Until next time, ciao!